Hello and welcome to Knitting with Jean. Last week I showed you how to do a basic knit stitch. Please check out that video, and this week I'm going to show you how to cast on and how to do a purl stitch. So get your needles and your wool and we'll get started. Enjoy! Hello, welcome to Knitting with Jean. Today we're going to learn how to cast on. So I've got some wool and I've got my needles. This is one of the basics of knitting. So you just need one needle and your thumb and your wool. So give yourself about this much wool and your thumb, and you make a loop round your thumb with the wool, just like that. And you put your needle in there, wrap it round as though you're making a stitch, and off. And that's a stitch. Do it again, round and off, round, in, round and off, round, in and off. It doesn't matter how loose they feel at the beginning, and they will feel loose until you get used to it, but you can tighten them up as you go along. Let's take a closer look at that. Now we've cast on, we're going to move on to the purl stitch. So I'm going to have to knit a row before we teach you how to do the purl stitch, because we've just cast on. So I'm going to knit this row. So remember, in through the bunny hole, round the big tree, out through the bunny hole, off goes she. Or stab it, strangle it, throw it off a cliff. Whatever you remember, or whatever suits you best, but just knit that row the way we did last week. So there's my first row knitted. Now turn your work round again with your needle in your right hand and the tail here. To do a purl stitch, there's really very little difference from a knit stitch, except as to where you put your needle first. So instead of going in on the left side of the wool, you go in on the right side of the wool, almost straight, and then round the needle and off. So in, round and off, in, round and off, in, round and off, in, round and off. Let's take a closer look at that. So let me explain to you why you do knit stitches and purl stitches. If you do knit stitches on this facing you, on this side, and turn it round when you finish that, and do purl stitches on the other side, you create a fabric that is smooth on one side and has got bumps on the other, and it's called stocking stitch. And quite often you'll see in patterns, it'll tell you to do so many rows of stocking stitch. So that's knit all the stitches on one side of the fabric and purl all the stitches on the other side. Now, when you're beginning, sometimes it helps to put a pin or a little marker on the front of your work where it's smooth. Your tail will hang down on this side, on the right hand side of your work, if you've cast on the way I showed you, and then you know that that's the side that you do your knit stitches. Look, they all look like little V's. This is what they should look like on the purl side. They're all like little bumps. So in a piece of work where you're doing stocking stitch, on the front it'll all be like little V's, and on the back of your work it'll all look like little bumps. And that's the basis of most knitting. Let's summarise what we've done today. We've learned how to cast on using our thumb and one needle. We've recapped how to do your knit stitch, and we've learned how to do a purl stitch. So you've plenty to think about this week and plenty to practice. Goodbye from Knitting with Jean. See you next time.